Angela, would you like to do a roll call, please?
Yes. Mayor Wakeman.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Pam Groves. Here. Council members Phil Rutledge.
Here.
Donald Weaver.
Here.
Adam Gonzalez.
Here.
And Ruthie Seward. Here.
And we have a quorum. Okay, I'd like to have a motion on consent items 3 and 4.
I'm happy to make a motion, but I would like to make a correction to the
Okay.
minutes.
All right. Item number 12.
Yes, on item number 12, I don't think, the wording to me is misleading or whatever. The first paragraph under item 12, the council voted 3, 4, and 1 council member against hiring Sinkfield. It should be voted 3 against
Yeah, you
and
had
1
that just
for.
backwards, Andrew.
Okay.
Okay. I would second that motion.
Okay. All in favor of accepting consent items 3 and 4 with the correction? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, passed.
Pass on her. I will need
Okay.
You don't want to do, okay.
same thing.
All right, we're gonna have an open forum. Anybody have anything they want to say? Ron?
Mayor, council, I just heard a real funny rumor today,
Yeah.
a silly rumor. Said that Steve Gullickson was trying to get the Coffee City Police Force out of Coffee City. And it came from a guy that lives there in Coffee City, and I said, where did you hear it? And he said, well, I just heard it around, and I said, well, you gotta be kidding me, so.
Well, I do have, when we get to that agenda item, I will explain exactly the scenario as to what happened.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's on the agenda to discuss tonight.
Mayor, I'm sorry, we need to go back to the check written register, because that was just the minutes and then the
Well,
correction.
there's no corrections on the check register.
So those same people are gonna, they would vote on the register, we're gonna go with that?
Well, it was consent items 3 and 4.
Okay,
And
okay,
they approved the consent items with the correction on the minutes.
okay.
Okay. Okay, anyone else have anything to say?
I do.
Okay.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I just wanted to say a public thank you to our fire department. I have a neighbor that is 96 years old. She's in rehab. She came home for an afternoon to get her house set up for handicap bars, that sort of thing. She was in this brought home in a bus, kind of like an airport bus, and it was about the 3rd day after the ice had melted, and the bus pulled forward onto her yard and immediately sunk down to the axles. And I called the fire chief, called Coffee City Volunteer Fire Department. Fire chief came out, was there in about 5 minutes. And then who was that, Remus with the winch truck? And they worked it, and they worked it, and they worked it, and they got it out, and they stuck with it, and they got that truck out of there.
Yeah,
So I
there's
just
a brush
wanted to
about
tell
that
the
deep
public
in the
that
yard
thank
now,
you
but
for
it's
your
out.
help.
We appreciate our fire department and everything they do. Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda, John Furlow, our auditor, will present his audit.
All right. You want to hand it to you or not? Yes, sir. Okay. Angela, I gave Angela unbound copy of the reports, Mayor, that if you want to make additional copies, and we have more here that we'll leave with you here. This is the 2012-2013 audit. First of all, I want to thank the staff here, Mayor, doing an excellent job supporting, providing documentation, because it had a yeoman's job of going back to 2012 and also last year in 2013. So, with Angela Schwing for their assistance. I want to report the books are well managed. There's no evidence of fraud or malfeasance or anything of that I was able to find. I do have some recommendations, and I visited with the mayor before the meeting. There's just a couple of them going forward. Currently, the hotel motel taxes are given directly to the EDC. When I recommended, and I talked to the head of the EDC telephonically, that they ought to come through the city because they're appropriated by the city. City has authority to tax, whereas EDC does not. So for accountability purposes, needs to go through the city and then pass through if the city decides that's where they want those funds to go, as does the sales tax in its proportional breakout. The other thing is the capital assets that are currently on the books go back a number of years and have been fully depreciated out, and some of the assets are probably not around, or they've been sold or whatever. So the idea, and they're being depreciated out, so it doesn't affect the books whatsoever. It becomes a cumbersome number. At a certain point, you ought to go through and just get rid of stuff that's been on the books for 25 years, like a camera, or which you know probably does not exist any longer. And then the reserve recommendation that there be a 15% monetary cash balance of a reserve on at all times. City has that. They have it in the form of a CD, but as I made comment earlier to the mayor, it needs to be annotated as a reserve account. In other words, even to the point of separating the savings account from the reserve account. So you never go into that reserve account unless you have council approval for that, and always provides you that firewall there. I said 15%, and that's of your operating budget to carry you through hard times. And even now, it may be warranted to have a little bit more because of the resettling of Coffee City's sales tax revenues, because of the other municipalities and such going wet and taking away the sales tax you normally have enjoyed in the past that you don't have today. So with that, I would look at that over the next year. I'm working with the city. I'm picking up a project. I'm not going to be able to do any audits this next year, so I'm working with some buddies to get an auditor for you folks for the end of this FY going forward. So we've got you caught up currently, but we need to try to move to the next level there. Any questions anybody might have on?
Is that 15% of the yearly budget?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
We have more than that, but we have to earmark it as such.
Well, it looks like you got to split it.
Probably would.
Right.
We're going to have enough in there, so we'll have to be
That's
adjusting
right.
it all in there.
Yeah, where you just take it and you push it back, and it sits back down. A lot of municipalities, what they do is that on this reserve, they'll lock it into a longer noted CD. I know there's a possibility of a penalty with early withdrawal, but the fact of it is your intentions is to put it into where you get a little bit more interest than you do just on a savings account.
We just want to make sure that we make the reserve large enough so we're not having to change it all the time.
That's correct.
Question
That's
is, when
correct.
does the current CD come due?
I'm not sure what the maturity date is.
Because if you split that now, you might have penalties to.
Yeah, we can wait.
No, I'm not saying right now, I'm just saying recommendation in the future. One thing I also want to reiterate is that whereas a lot of municipalities your size have having problems with and will experience problems over the next 5-10 years is the debt load. Coffee City has very little debt. Matter of fact, based on the payout, you folks should pay off your last 2 items here in the next 2 years and be completely debt-free. And that's going to be important because Austin, even though they're rubbing their hands, wondering what they're going to do with the 28% surplus that they're anticipating in next session, is that some of the monies that flow normally from the federal government to the state government, from state government to local government, is going to be shut down or abbreviated to where you're not going to get a lot of the monies that you normally get. So the revenue stream that Coffee City gets, excuse me, primarily comes from sales tax. So that should not be bothered. But the fact that you have very little debt is a tribute to to the leadership that you folks have imposed, because a lot of municipalities this size are about to go under because of their debt load. Any questions?
I'd have to look through it.
Yeah,
I guess.
I'm sure there will be some after we do some studying on
It'll
this,
take a
but
while to go through this.
That's all right, as Mayor, as I was telling your wife, this is what my paperwork I started with and boiled down to your report. And that doesn't count what I have electronically.
start to say electronically, can you share those depreciation schedules and stuff with Angela so that we have them?
Oh, absolutely, I'll be happy to send them back to her, but she's the one shared it with me from the prior CPA. But no, I will.
Yeah, it took a while to get that.
Oh, yeah, but I've got that.
So that would just help us going forward, making sure we've got
Now, one thing I
trace
did,
back.
when I went back to 12, I did whack the helipad that had been carried on the books because it now resides under the community center.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and whacked that because that actually was a viable capital asset that was still being depreciated, so I did take care of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send that back to you, Angela.
Okay. Thank you.
Because they also have that inventory on there too.
Yeah. Yeah, any data that you need going forward would be helpful.
Well, whoever the person may be, I mean, I'm obligated to
Sure.
pass that on to them anyway, to make sure that they have it.
Well, we really do appreciate you doing this audit for us, and we're just sorry that you're not going to be able to do it next year.
Well, your fire chief probably appreciates that. You know, I've told all the war stories on him I possibly can tell on him. I'd be making up stuff from here on out.
That's okay. We don't have a problem with that.
We like stories.
All right, thank you very much, John.
All right, appreciate that. I'm going to leave those with you,
Okay.
and I appreciate that.
Thank you so very much. Thanks a lot.
Okay, item 7, budget review. We have some changes that we're going to recommend in spending.
Can I do this
Yes,
first?
sir. Yeah.
Y'all have a sheet like this in your packet. I laid a new one there for you. When I went back and read the minutes from last month, I realized that I had promised to extend this all the way through the end of the year as far as what we could estimate.
Okay.
And you'll see the last two columns says estimated years and difference from budget. So, I mean, through February, we had sales tax income of $85,000. The budget for 9 months would have been $93,000, so we were behind there. But taking it all the way out, 11 for the estimated year would be 128, where we estimated 140. So we're short 11,000 there. But if you look down, for example, on the TVEC, we got 22,000, which will be for the whole year. You notice through February and through the end of the year is exactly the same number because we won't be getting that anymore. That's already been paid. The rest of it, and there's a few minor ones, but is basically taking the 8 months we know for sure, dividing the total for 8 months by 8 and multiplying it back by 12 to get into a yearly estimate. As you can see, income, we're off a whole $452 overall. Huh? It's
That's
amazing.
darn close.
That's amazing to me. And it's especially with sales tax down, the court revenue has really been the saving grace there. And TVC, on the expense side, we budgeted $225,000. If this comes true, we will have spent $223,000. So the numbers are pretty close. Okay, we would actually have $1,600 extra, $1,673, if these come through. And I'm not sure about some of these things, office supplies, and some of the other it's kind of hard. The police gear, that's a totally different story. We're $3,000 over through the year, over our estimate at this point, so making it up in some other places. The insurance is another place that we missed it by $6 grand, $7 grand almost. I'm not sure. That should have been easy back then. I don't know. Did our insurance rate go up or anything? Andy,
No,
do you know?
no, they did not.
I just don't understand that one. That should be pulling one number and multiplying it, not 24. So, any questions before Ray goes into his?
Well, I think I'm gonna let Pam go through this itemized thing. We worked on it together.
I don't mind.
Okay. You have your, everybody has the sheet as to what we budgeted.
Oh, here, I've got
And
three. Maybe.
what we propose adding, and what we propose taking off.
Well, under auto expense, we originally budgeted $3,000. Kind of have to look at the overall picture on all of this to see where we're coming from and wanting to do, because we're adding to some expenses and deducting from others just on the line items, so it's a net exchange. But under auto, we want to add $2,000 to what we originally said we would like to spend.
We want to approve an additional 2,000, is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm
Well,
saying,
yeah,
that's,
change that.
if y'all want to, I mean, that's just.
Because
Well, I mean, I'm
we're over budget already.
Well, I'll put that
Yeah.
note on the
Yeah.
budget sheet though, so it's tied back.
Yeah.
We won't actually change the budget number.
No.
because we
Right,
just-
That's correct.
right, I mean,
We just want to approve
we'll
the
have to
changes
vote
in
on
there.
these, I think, should we
Yeah.
vote on them individually, or how do
think
y'all
you
want
have
to
to.
do it?
Yeah, we did individually.
Well,
So that would raise our budget, our total expense up to, instead of 3,000, be 5,000, right?
Right.
on autos, yeah.
Yep.
I don't think we have any choice unless we're gonna get rid of one.
No, it's
We
all right.
Yeah, we got it
It's an
covered.
emergency
Yeah,
situation.
we just have to approve the additional spending, is what it amounts to.
And thanks to our new budget book, it says, we have to say it's an emergency situation.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
And I'd like to make a motion that we go ahead and change that expense item to $5,000 for the year on auto expense.
Okay, we have a second to that.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor? Aye? Okay, we'll change that.
Okay, that will be note number 6.
Okay, election expense.
On the election expense, we budgeted $7,000 and it came in $5,500.
We don't have to
So
vote
we
on
won't
that.
have any more expense.
That's already done. We don't have to
Yeah.
vote on that. That's just savings.
Well, we don't need to vote on it, but it kind of just tells you where this,
Right,
the
where you're going,
2,000's
yeah.
coming from, part of
Yeah.
that. That's $1,500 right there to go to the 2,000. Interest, the same way, we projected $875 and we've not had any interest expense. Police equipment and gear, can we skip that one for right now?
Yep.
Let's go down to postage.
Okay.
Postage, we budgeted 1,200, it's gonna be closer to $600. So we've got $600 there to move over. We're not gonna vote on these, right, because these are just already.
Yeah, they're already,
Okay. The other one was road repairs, we had 3,500 budgeted, and we're taking $1,000 from that. And under, the community center, we budgeted, well, you and I have different things on this. Overall, for electricity, we budgeted $7,000 for City Hall and for the community center. And the community center is coming in at a lot less, so we're taking $1,000 from there.
Well, the reason.
Okay, what I did on the budget here is separate the city and the
Community center.
community center based on the percentage of the.
70/30.
Both
70/30.
And community center,
So-
7 grand, yes.
I think at the time we did these figures, we had it 3,500, 3,500.
Yeah, well, on the original budget, it was just 7,000 for both.
Well, the reason that the community center electricity is running so low, I got with the fire chief and we shut everything off. It's not being used. They were leaving everything on over there. Of course, everything's running, it's running your electric bill up. So we went over and shut everything off.
So we're saving money there, but
Yep.
that's the prime thing.
Okay, then let's go back up to police equipment and gear. We originally budgeted $2,400, and with these other ones we just mentioned, we're talking about adding $2,600 to that for police equipment and gear.
Yeah, we've already spent 3,600, right? $3,626.
Yes.
So we need to have enough, we need to have enough cushion.
Well, based on based on the yearly, I mean, 5439, so you're at 5,000
So
there.
you're giving them 5,000, so that's only
$100 difference months.
$1,400 left
So
for the rest of the
You wanna
fiscal
raise it,
year.
you wanna
I would
raise
say
that to
take it
3?
up to 3,
Okay.
just if we're gonna, I mean,
Well, just a minute. You don't have any money to take it up to 3. You've only got,
2,600.
you've got another $375 you could add to that.
all right, leave it at 26 and we'll just shut it down.
Because otherwise it's not.
He's not gonna need any more uniforms or anything for a while, he's full house, so.
Well, we're gonna be buying some tires pretty soon.
I thought that came off the Camaros.
Yeah, but it still have to be in the budget, because Camaro happened last fiscal year. See, we're in another fiscal year. The money we have, it's just, it wasn't set aside specifically.
Yeah, we should have.
We've been
we
keeping
should
track.
have.
We've
Yeah, I
been
know you've
keeping
been
track
keeping
of
track,
it.
but that should have been put into the.
Yeah, there's about 6,000 left in that.
Well, that'll
Camaro
come under
fund.
auto expense anyway, not
Yeah.
police equipment and gear,
Yeah.
but I think equipment and gear at 5,000 is about all we can do.
Okay.
I'm easy with that.
We'll just make sure that we don't spend any money we don't have to spend, that's it.
I would make the motion that we add 2,600 to that to take it to 5,000 for police and gear.
Do we have a
Equipment gear.
second on
I'll make a second.
that? All
Second.
in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay.
That will be note number 7. Got it. Both of those move to 5,000.
Yeah.
Okay, so let that one go.
Okay. Item 8, consider an act on approving to adopt an ordinance permitting burning in Coffee City. Now, the reason this came up is, TCEQ got involved. Somebody called in and complained about somebody burning. They reported it to TCEQ, and they came back and said that no burning allowed in Coffee City unless the city has an ordinance. So I asked the fire chief to come up with a couple of suggestions on ordinance, and he came up with one that I think we could probably adopt, so that we can allow burning in Coffee City.
What is the time frame of this as far as from a necessity standpoint?
We need to do it right away because people are burning.
Sure.
Yeah. And we don't want people to start getting cited for burning.
Somebody's going to have to explain it a little bit to me here, because I know in the fire chief report, we always have rubbish fires that they're being cited for. And I know in the last meeting, we were all given a little brochure here. It says answers to burning questions. And I read the ordinance very carefully here. And how is this different from that, and why do we have to have this when it's already there? And the TQAC came out and did their job, and the fire chief is issuing citations already or responding to rubbish fires. I don't know what his fire report actually says, but I know he's always
Well,
responding.
Fire Chief, would you like to address that?
Councilman Weaver, it's state law that you cannot burn in the city limit, any city limits, if the city does not have an ordinance for you to burn. It's state law. And then what's happened is, for 50 years, everybody's gone along, hey, we're in the country, it's a rural deal, and nobody's really abided by it.
I've lived here for 32 years, and I've been burning the whole 32 years.
So
I've
one
been
day, person A gets mad at person B, and they found it on the internet somewhere, and they called on A. Well, then A's calling on C, and C's calling on E and F, and I got 2 phone calls from TCEQ on the way down here today about burning. They want to know what we're doing. I said, well, the mayor's addressing it tonight, I'll call you tomorrow. They said, cool.
Okay.
Now, but that's what it is. I can probably get you a handbook with that law that quotes that. if you
Well,
want one.
that's okay. So what you're saying is city versus rural?
Right, exactly, exactly.
Got so many.
The county has different rules. But once you become a municipality,
Yeah, what was basically TCEQ said, when we have garbage pickup, that you're supposed to put it out for the garbage company to pick it up, not burn it. Well, that ain't gonna happen.
Well, if we're proceeding on with this, and I read through the ordinance, it all seems to be fairly reasonable. I don't see anything really terrible in there, except it says allowable outdoor burning shall be subject to these general requirements. Begin burning no earlier than 1 hour after sunrise and the end of the same day, no later than 1 hour before sunset. And then it goes to section 3, and it mentions that, no, you can have recreational ceremony of cooking or warmth fires. So
Yeah.
you, after 1 hour after sunrise, you cannot have a ceremonial fire or heat yourself? Or,
Well, that was the only thing when I read through that part of it, was people with outdoor fire pits and, you know.
yeah, because if I'm gonna have a ceremonial fire, I'm gonna have it at nighttime, so I'd watch it.
Yeah, and if you're burning a barbecue, you know,
Yeah.
cooking.
So if we have anything, if I'm gonna pick here, which obviously I'm picking, is just get rid of number 1. I mean, the sunrise, the time frame, seems to be just something that's gonna cause trouble.
Well, apparently burning at night is general law in the state.
Oh, is that right?
That's
Explain
how
that
it is
to
in
me.
the county. I was gonna recommend that y'all put on there recreational, ceremonial, and cooking and warmth. You know, those are different. You know, you could exclude them, or must be extinguished by midnight or something. I don't know anybody that's doing cooking after midnight, or, I mean, maybe add a footnote there, or a caveat at the end or something.
Yeah, I didn't written a note, because that fire pits, forgot about that. I mean, because I know we go out, and I've got one built that the grandkids love to go over, cook marshmallows on after dark, you know.
That could be considered warming.
Okay. Okay.
Might be 100 degrees outside, but I've got a fire going before.
The fire chief, you're saying it has to be in there because the state law, we have to have the number 1.
You're not supposed to burn at night now anyway.
Oh, is that right? City, country, nowhere?
No, you know, where it's supposed to be out at night, it's supposed to be attended at all times.
Well, I see all these land clearing projects in the highway department, they're going 24/7. They don't go put those massive fires out.
We put a fire out Sunday, the guy was in Dallas. He'd already left here from his bike home and went to Dallas. He was in Dallas when we got hold of it.
Well, I noticed across the bridge there, they're cleaning the Schambach Ministries, and that's burning 24 hours a day.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they can say that it's attended, but,
Well,
State.
you know.
or just say with, I don't know how you say, with approval from City Hall.
Put it out for people to review and get comments on, but.
Well, if we don't do an ordinance, TCEQ's gonna start buying citations for everybody that burned.
And
Well, I
there
think we
is
do
a
it.
case in point already.
Yes, sir. Well, I would say,
I know of one.
do we have any choice?
Not really, not if we want to allow people to burn.
We can allow people to come back and make comments and review it later as far as any changes or updates.
Yeah.
Well, if it's just a matter of adding something to the kinds of outdoor burning allowed, and this time frame, somehow we could word it in the time frame that if they're having a recreational ceremony, cooking or warmth fire, that, you know, the hours are excluded. Because if you're having a entertaining fire, then you have entertaining fires at night. It's the reason you have entertaining fires at night, so you can watch the fire.
Yep.
So, I don't know how you would run that down to here, but if they're, I don't know, but if it's just a matter of simply throwing that in there, throw it in there.
Would it work to just say exempt? Hours are exempt, or exempt from hours?
Well, that's a fine wording, Fire Chief.
Except for what?
Exempt from
Hours.
hours.
But is it legal? I mean, you know, if the state says you can't burn at night.
Well, they
you
burn
know.
at A&M all the time, but see, we talked to the mayor, and we're trying to get out of the permit business. You know, because if everybody had to call and get a permit, we're gonna have to hire people.
Let's just say exempt from hours.
And if they say some of that, yeah.
Where are you saying this, beginning?
On section 3, right under recreational ceremony, cooking or warmth, not including prohibited materials, the exempt from hours.
Oh, okay, okay.
Exempt from hours, so that way, if you're gonna have your fire pit and you have people and you're entertaining,
Yeah.
you don't have to douse the fire out.
Yeah. That's okay.
So we will bring that exemption of hours, is that how it will be phrased?
Hours exempted from this section.
With my grandkids there and nephews, I got a feeling there'll be one going tonight at my house.
Okay, any more questions or comments on this?
The 14th day of April,
Oh, we can change that. You mean to go in effect?
Passed and approved this, it should be today's date.
Yeah, it can be today's date.
Day of March. And what about, remaining debris from burning must be disposed of? Now, when I burn, I don't clean that burn pile off but about 3 times a year. You know, I don't clean it off
I
every
don't
time
think
I
anybody's gonna be
burn.
that picky.
Well, just saying,
Where are you seeing that?
up here, number 3.
Oh, remaining debris from burning must be disposed of. When is it going, if it's legal stuff, it's going to save it for the next time you burn.
It's fine by me as long as Mr. Fire Chief doesn't come give me a ticket.
No, they ain't going to do that.
What's that, Fire Chief, is that something that, it's a,
Which item are y'all on?
number 4,
Under section 2, number 4.
It's not his that I'm worried about.
remaining debris from burning must be disposed of? If it's just a pile of ashes, that would break the law.
No, it's not the ash part and it's not the burn spot. What that really is in there for, and I guess if y'all wanted to strike that, y'all could, is for, person A is burning the household garbage. Well, then there's cans left and there's stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that's a whole
Those things are a
that's a-
nuisance, health and safety.
That's covered under the whole thing of section
Yeah.
4, which is
Right, that's
you
what I'm
couldn't do that to begin with.
So if you want to strike removing that residue, I mean, that's not gonna hurt the ordinance, because we're not doing garbage burning
I
anymore.
would say that's a good idea.
So scratch number 4.
Scratch number 4, remaining debris.
Okay.
Because you're right, you put the fire out at night, go in, it's remaining debris there, you're gonna burn the next day.
Yep.
Okay, so how do we do this?
I just need to have a
Motion with,
Motion to accept it with the changes.
I make a motion that we accept it and make the changes as necessary.
Do I have a second for that?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the date on here's got to be,
March 10th.
March 16th.
I'm always happy to have a little more government, tell me when I can
Yeah.
go.
Well, this wouldn't have come up if it hadn't, somebody hadn't called TCEQ. Like I say, I've been burning for 32 years, and I never heard of that.
well, I mean, this was similar to one of the ordinances that we,
I don't know of anybody in the city that doesn't burn.
I don't, I mean, I don't know of anybody. I do.
We need a number on this, Mayor?
Yes. Okay, item number 9, consider an act upon disannexing Highway 155 North Bridge. Now, we're using the same statute on this as we did on 4202 because there's no population on the bridge. And it's in Smith County. And we shouldn't be annexing it in Smith County.
Do we have a map or anything that shows this point?
Do we have a map on that 155 bridge?
I can try to find one, but half
This
of it,
goes from the Smith County line, doesn't it?
half of it's in our area and half of it's in Smith.
Well, it says it's going west 1/2 mile, that's a mile-long bridge. Here's the bridge.
Does this affect anything with you, Chief?
Bridge Stone is a mile-long bridge, that's,
Chief,
I've never measured it.
will this affect anything with your patrolling up there?
Is there any legal meets and bounds on there?
Yeah,
No, it would be the county line,
Well,
but
yeah, these
Legal
are,
meets and bounds are in
these are the
ordinance.
meets and bounds, and this is what was.
That could be in Sulphur Springs, Texas, for I know.
This is
I don't
what-
have anything to tie that back to.
This is what was taken off of the original annexation of the bridge, this right here.
If you go back and look at the ordinance when we annexed the bridge in the first place, that's the wording. Word for word.
To annex it or to de-annex it?
To annex it.
To annex it in the
initially.
first place, they had that description.
We're just undoing what they did earlier.
But if you want to verify that.
I just, no, you've looked at it,
Yeah.
I trust you that much. The,
Hey, don't trust me, here's the original ordinance. Here's the original ordinance, and this section right here is for the North Bridge. That's what it says to get it in the city. I figured it was good enough to get it out.
Looks pretty much the same to me, you won't see it.
Chief, how would that affect if you have, let's say, a speeder coming through and then they don't stop till the other side of the bridge? Are you still okay with that?
You talk about as they're coming into the city?
Going out either.
Or going out to the north?
Usually, and I'll just use nighttime for an example, when it's getting closer to nighttime, traffic slow, there's not as many cars, well, we shoot all the way across the bridge, and that's for cars coming into the city. We shoot all the way across. We sit there on Pine Street and actually shoot. Now, as they get closer to the city, of course, their speed drops down and all this, but if we catch them, as they're getting on the bridge, well then, we can write them a citation once they get off the bridge. We try not to write any on the bridge. But as they get closer to Coffee City, they actually start slowing down. Now, every once in a while, you'll have one that won't, but the majority will start slowing down as they get closer.
But it won't affect you if they're coming this way, it's only going the other way that.
It's
like
as
Adams.
they're coming into the city from Dogwood City, as they're coming south. Now, as you're going out, they pick up speed before they ever get halfway across. Now, I have seen them, like I say, if you monitor it, as you're turning around, you write someone a ticket on the other side of the bridge and you're coming back to the city, I have seen them, 70, 75, 80 miles an hour across there. And of course, I can't catch them, but by the time I get to the end, turn around, they're gone. But I have seen them doing that just as soon as they get on the bridge.
But I think, isn't you asking him, like, if they're coming through Coffee City, and once they hop on that bridge, can you legally go across that bridge and still stop them?
Yes.
That's what he's asking.
Yes.
If
Yeah, that's what you're
Because
asking.
they've speeded through the city,
But we're not gonna have any issues with Smith County giving our, PD a problem. Because I remember you had passed out that letter saying Smith County was, I just want to make sure.
Smith County was upset because the previous administration annexed that bridge, and that bridge basically is in Smith County. And that's why they sent us the letter. And so we're just gonna undo what they did before.
Just want to make sure it's okay with the
Yeah.
chief didn't have any problem with his officers.
Yeah, we shouldn't be annexing out.
Yes, if I can get them, I can still probably get quite a few once, because like we say, it's halfway across is ours anyway. It's the counties and stuff, and so we can still get them there.
Yeah.
And not only that, we also have a 200-foot leeway anyway. So, if they start speeding up within that or whatever, yes, we can still go get them.
You got a question in the back there?
Question?
Jim Begley.
Yeah.
Just to make sure, if the infraction begins in Coffee City, you have the right to pursue into Smith County or any other place, really?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the other thing was, I believe that this annexation of the bridge began with, a while back, trying to keep people from fishing from the foots of the bridge, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But the police still have the right to pursue the infraction begin. You can see the infraction begin right out here. If they go up there or down there, you still have the right to pursue.
Yes, sir. I can pursue until I run out of gas.
That's fine.
They won't stop them on the bridge. A lot of times I see them, but they're at the other end of the bridge and they have somebody pull over.
So as far as enforcement of speed limit, the 55 speed limit out here, no problem.
No problem.
Okay.
Any other comments on this? Do I have a motion that we go ahead and adopt this to be annexed?
I make a motion to adopt this ordinance.
I'll second.
Say, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Consider an act on putting initiative on November ballot for 1/4%. tax increase for roads. And the wording that goes on the ballot is very simple. And we do have a sample ordinance that we have to make a few changes to, but it's just basically a simple little ordinance. Adoption of a local sales tax and use tax in Coffee City at the rate of 1/4% to provide revenue for maintenance and repair of municipal streets.
And this is voted on by
It's a yes or no question.
by the citizens, though.
By the citizens.
We're just giving them the opportunity to say yes or no.
Yep. That's voted, it'll be on the November ballot, and it's a yes or no question. Yes, they approve it or they don't.
Well, I would like to see that, I see the wording that's here, but I would like to add to that.
Okay.
Like, I think Mr. Keesland suggested this last council meeting, to make sure that it says the right-of-ways and tree
Yes,
removal.
we need to
and
include, yeah, like our Mr. Geeson said, to include road right-of-ways and tree removal from the roads. Is that correct?
Something like that.
Okay. Yeah, we can add that on there.
Statement of the roads, right-of-way, ditching, culverts, drainage, infrastructure, and tree trimming.
Yep.
That's pretty close to what I said last.
Angela types really well.
Yeah, we can add that on there.
Okay, statement number 9 on the February 18th minutes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, what do we need here to do? Were you
We
gonna
just
say
need
with
to,
these
we just need,
changes?
we just need to approve to have this placed on the ballot with the recommended changes.
I'll make a motion that we do that.
Okay? I have a second on
I
that?
second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right.
Okay. All opposed? We have one opposed.
Me too.
Okay. Next item on the agenda, number 11, website update.
Well, the website's up and running and 95% of it's there. 5% missing, and take officers some time now to gather up some older material to fill in the blanks, and it's done.
If y'all haven't seen it, go look at it. It's nice. It's got, I mean, for example, I went out there and there's actually, Lauren has it set up where there's a manual on how to do budgeting. I now actually understand some of the things that I didn't understand before, because Selena was nice enough to print it all off for me. So, but there's a lot of good technical data that the citizens have a right to know about. So I'll thank you for that.
Now, the only issues that I've had mentioned to me is that whatever kind of changes that you've made to our server has messed up our email service down here.
I think we got that figured out. It was above our heads. We had to get the two server companies to point their DNSs at each other. Then everything we were doing was right all along.
Okay.
They got theirs straightened out.
Did you get that fixed? Okay, because it really messed up our emails. We weren't getting emails.
I didn't have any problems with it, have you?
Yeah, they weren't able to send
No,
out
it's
emails
out.
and we weren't getting any emails, so, okay. Any questions or comments about
Tension was high.
I looked at it, I think it looks great. I'm very happy with what he's done, so.
Well, we still have information that we need to give him to have placed on there.
Our audit needs to go on.
Yep, the audit goes on there.
Yeah, that's something we can y'all do a PDF off of that, just scan?
And should our ordinances be on there as well? Maybe
All of
they
our
don't
new,
have
all of our
ones.
new ones as we do them should go till we get time to go back and
Yep,
copy those back. Or that's my opinion.
yep, that should go on there. Any other comments on the website? We appreciate what you're doing
thank
with
you.
that, Lauren.
Oh,
You improved the looks of it. Okay, item 12, discuss and act upon Coffee City Police patrolling Briarwood Bay. I would like to make some comments about that. I got a call from our city attorney, Ron Stoops, and he had received a call from Briarwood Bay's attorney, Kirk Noel. And basically what
he was saying to our attorney is that Coffee City won't repair the roads in Broward Bay, but they will write tickets in Broward Bay. And our attorney wanted to know if I wanted him to research the statutes and inform Broward Bay's attorney what our position on the statutes would be. Well, as it boils down in a nutshell, if our city has a population of 300 or more, which it actually does, but the Census Bureau hasn't updated it yet, and they're using Census Bureau figures. But once they correct that, with the population being over 300, we can patrol Broward Bay, but Broward Bay is going to have to pay for the patrol. Now, with a population of less than 300, we have the option of patrolling, and our attorney said, treat it like you would a parking lot. Patrol it as you would a parking lot. So we may have to cut back a little bit on our patrolling. We can't write tickets over there. We were
Traffic.
patrolling.
This is strictly traffic, right?
Yeah, we
Strictly
still,
traffic.
we will still respond to calls that come in, and every time we make a call over there, it costs us money, because the majority of the calls come in the middle of the night when our officer's at home. He has to drive up here, respond to the call. We have to pay for the gas and the wear and tear on the vehicle and his time. So every time he makes a call up there, it costs us money. So we were just, writing tickets when we could to help offset some of the cost. So we may have to adjust our patrolling priorities over there.
It does say that the homeowner association, as an entity, can petition the municipality,
Yes.
but that would have to be done.
Now that's if our population is more than 300.
Oh, yes, I know where this statute only applies to a municipality, but I still can't believe they don't have any less than 198.
Yeah, I know. It's got to be near 500.
Yeah. We had over 200 vote,
Oh, yeah.
so.
Well, that's the reason that we had this on the agenda, for any discussion that anybody might have or suggestions that they might have concerning that. This never would have come up if our attorney hadn't received a call. We were satisfied with what we were doing over there.
Thank you for the explanation. I didn't know where this was coming from. Because I'd heard, I read the paper, oh, they've done this and they've done that, and I've heard nothing but good things, and I was, well, what's this?
Well, I know because of what we've been doing in the past over there, the crime rate has dropped considerably.
Any recommendations from chief on?
He just has to do what the council says he can do.
He can still patrol and do
Yeah,
all of
it's
this
just-
stuff there, he
it's
just
just
can't,
traffic.
you got somebody running 90 miles an hour through there, there's nothing he can do.
If they're running 90 miles through there, they're running 90 miles through the whole city, so that's our bad.
Well, I do know, last month or month before last, there was, somebody made a comment from the audience that they had done a nice job helping slow the people down in Briarwood, they weren't running near as fast as they were.
Well, that and the county also, and
Yeah.
DPS also.
Yeah. Any type of a police car in an area is gonna help, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why this ever came up.
Well, just like you said, just let them run through there, if there's a parking lot, and let it be.
Yeah, it's, well, theft,
They
theft,
do regular
break-in.
patrols through there anyway, so it's, I mean, I
So,
don't see an issue.
They may not focus as much on it anymore as they did before.
Before, yeah.
that just for informational purposes?
Yes.
Mayor, can I make a statement, please?
Yes.
Okay. What is the reasoning for this? Is it because we're not in the city road system, or how's this working?
Privately owned subdivision.
But it's not a private, the roads aren't privately owned.
Those roads have never been officially given to the city.
Through the county there were.
That's the county. We don't do it.
In our service plan, when we annexed in, the
service
county
plan was
accepted
not
them
an
in.
acceptance of Briarwood Bay's roads.
It was an acceptance of the maintenance on the roads.
No,
I've got the service plan, but yes, it was.
that was just a service plan that was submitted to the DOJ, and those are not even required anymore.
But the issue is, with the draft that was written about private roads, those aren't private roads, because Briarwood Bay is not a private subdivision. In our corporate papers, Briarwood Bay is a subdivision, and there's nothing that says it's private.
Okay.
And so I'd like to read a little statement here, and then I'll lead through. To the Mayor and City Council of Coffee City, Briarwood Bay subdivision is just that, a subdivision. There is no wording on the certificate of incorporation that describes Briarwood Bay as being a private subdivision, and neither the bylaws nor deed restrictions address the subdivision as being private. Word of mouth does not determine the status of the roads, but legal documents do. The Henderson County Commissioners Court and the county judge started the process of accepting the Briarwood Bay roads into the county road maintenance system prior to June 16, 2006, and has continued to provide this avenue for the citizens of Briarwood Bay, even last year after BBPOA was annexed into the city of Coffee City. The Coffee City Service Plan for annexation of Briarwood Bay was drafted, approved, and voted on by the Coffee City City Council, and is a legal and binding document which describes the obligation of Coffee City to provide the maintenance of any roads in the Briarwood Bay subdivision that have been brought to county maintenance standards. The working draft defining BBPOA subdivision as containing private roads is misleading to this council and the citizens it represents.
So people that are paying dues over there are paying dues to a association that's not privately owned?
It maintains the common areas, sir.
If your people over there don't pay dues, then what do you do?
Well, the common areas, they don't have access to.
Well, we're still part of the city. We're just discussing the city right here.
Your dues are
The police
designated
are
for
still
street
patrolling.
maintenance and
So
common
there's really no
areas.
issue.
No.
Streets are common areas.
They are not the common areas. The common areas are the parks. The streets are actually a public roadway because they have never been deemed private. There's no paperwork, there's nothing that says they are private roads. Now, as far as the dues and assessments, that's to bring the roads up to county maintenance standards. That has nothing to do with keeping the roads private. And that was the agreement we had with the Commissioners Court, was that they were substandard in their design and their, the standards to meet what was expected of a county road. And so when they were brought to county standards with the money that was collected through dues and assessments, then they were brought into the system, and when we were annexed into Coffee City, the service plan explicitly states that they will take over the maintenance from the county.
I personally think you were sold a bill of goods when that service plan was made because it wasn't legal to do that.
It wasn't legal to do what?
To tell you that service plan. To me, that statement in that service plan isn't legal.
And why is that? They're not private roads. They were never
Because private
dedicated
roads.
private.
That service
It has to be
agreement is
dedicated
not
private, it has to be
contract.
dedicated public.
Now, Mayor, we're just discussing the police patrolling. We're not saying no police patrolling.
Any jailhouse,
No,
jailhouse
that's not
law
what-
can do
that's not
that.
what he's talking about.
I
He's talking about
understand that,
roads.
but we're
Yeah,
discussing
also.
just
Yeah.
police
Yeah.
patrolling, that's it.
But he's still trying to establish that the roads are public roads in Coffee City, and they are private roads.
I'm just talking about, we're supposed to
I'm
be
just going-
I
discussing.
I'm
mean,
just
that's
gonna-
not my
Just-
opinion,
we're supposed
that's,
to just be
I'm just going by
discussing
what
this.
our city attorney advised us.
Somebody made a call and brought this up, so this is what it's leading to.
This never would have come up.
Come up, everybody called.
Okay, anything else on patrolling? Mayor's report. I really don't have anything to say on the mayor's report tonight. EDC report.
We had a beginning balance in the general account of $146,995. We have the sales tax for the month was $6,627. We didn't have any disbursements out of that account. and that brought the balance to $153,623. The hotel motel tax, we have beginning balance of $42,415. We had the Duck Inn and Lake Palestine Motor Inn. Their tax was $1,041. That brought the balance to $43,457 in that account. And I just wanted to let everybody know, we are gonna have an EDC meeting this Thursday at 6 o'clock. And there's an agenda on the city website and on the window out front. So Thursday, 6 o'clock.
Mary, didn't we already do what the auditor requested for the EDC comes into the city and the city just writes a check to you?
You did it on one item.
Yeah, we're doing that now.
Yeah.
He brought that up during the audit,
Okay.
that all that stuff should flow through the city.
Yeah, because when I was working on the budget bill, those numbers didn't jive now, and I'm like, what's going on?
Can I make
I was
a
confused.
comment or a question for EDC?
Yeah.
Y'all are meeting quarterly, pretty much?
It seems to come around.
That was what they established to be.
I was just wondering why y'all don't have a set, the third Thursday or, a certain time every 3 months or something, so you can kind of plan for that. Is there a reason, or maybe at the next meeting y'all can
At the
discuss
next
that or
meeting, we'll
something?
discuss that. I think the reason they wanted to wait until after this council meeting, we're finalizing the kitchen, the design and the project. There's several things on the agenda. I think everybody's schedule may have had something to do with it
On that
too.
little spreadsheet that you did for EDC, all of the money that shows that where the city paid for venues before they started receiving their money, EDC is gonna reimburse us for that,
How many dollars was that?
8,000 something.
Coming back into the general fund?
Back into the general.
Well, good work, Pam.
Thanks.
Yeah, we just got back in the good side.
Yeah, I met with Larry Paxton and we talked about it. He said that's not a problem. Okay, municipal court report.
Okay, we had 60 new cases filed for the month of February. We had 2 dismissed after driver safety, 9 after deferred disposition, 4 after their proof of insurance. We had a total revenue for the month of $13,942, and the city gets to keep about 8,500 of that. What we collected from Pioneer through the warrant roundup was $4,068, and it's still coming in.
It is still coming in?
It is still, we're over
We're
3,000
getting stuff
already.
almost every day.
We're over 3,000 already for this month? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a real good deal for us to sign up with Pioneer, because it doesn't cost us anything. Okay, thank you, Serena. Okay, police report, and I think our police chief is going to swear in a new reserve officer tonight.
I must have missed something there. Could you do that again?
He thought he was a police
He was gonna come down and give a police report.
Okay, Coffee City Police Report for the month of February. We had 2 accidents, 3 agency assist, 3 arrests, 1 assault, 3 burglaries, 3 call out,
Very nicely done.
1 suspicious person, and 2 thefts. This brings this up to a total of 23. And we also have some disturbances and things like that, but still, because these numbers are not gonna add up right, it's gonna bring it up to 23 because of the disturbances and animal complaints and various things like that.
Okay, you want to?
Okay, yes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna swear in a new officer tonight. He's been with Star Harbor. He was with them for 7 months, and they decided to do a reduction in force and go down to 0. He also was with Malakoff for 7 years. I'd like to present to you Officer Eric Adair.
Pleasure to be here, and pleasure to meet you.
Everybody come right up here. Please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I
I, Eric Adair,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully
execute the duties
execute the duties
of the office
of the office
of Reserve Peace Officer
of Reserve Peace Officer
of the City of Coffee City,
of the City of Coffee City,
State of Texas,
State of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
and the laws of the United
and
States
the laws of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
and the charter and ordinances
and the charter and ordinances
of this city.
of this city.
And I furthermore solemnly swear
And I furthermore solemnly swear
that I have not directly
that I have not directly
or indirectly paid,
or indirectly paid,
offered or promised to pay,
offered or promised to pay,
contributed,
contributed,
nor promised to contribute
or promised to contribute
any money or valuable thing,
any money or valuable thing,
or promised any public office
or promised any public office
or employment
or employment
as a reward
as a reward
to secure my appointment.
to secure my appointment.
So help me
So
God.
help me God.
Congratulations.
Now it's the fire chief's turn.
My hands are not working today. Anyone, Commissioner? All right, real briefly, we had 28 calls. We had 2 house fires, 2 building fires. One was a house, one was a shed. Here's those 6 rubbish fires Councilman Weaver was talking about earlier. 10 medicals, 4 trees. 0 boat calls.
Warm enough now, go.
Well, this is for February. January, we had boat calls, it was cold. 2 MVAs, 1 false alarm, 1 public service, which was actually at the resort, unlocking a car, and 1 good intent. And that one was somebody on the side of the road that was sleeping, and somebody thought they was no longer with us. So we woke them up, and still have 13 senior firefighters. It says past training, but we're still working on driving and safety. And before we meet again, April 5th and 6th, A&M will be here for the driver simulator. April 26th, 27th is the safety officer class. Those are the 2 big things we got going right now. So, Berryville will be having a pancake breakfast on the 15th, which is this Saturday, from 8 to 12 or until they run out of pancakes. That's for the firefighters. So
8 to 12?
8 to 12 or until they run out.
How'd you do on the chili dinner?
They made like $40. And, well, it was a roller coaster. It started off cold. It was too hot, so they turned it down, then it got cold, then they turned it up and it got too hot again. So, they'll learn from their mistakes, but after everything was said and done, they made like $40. So, which, I mean, we didn't lose. I mean, the last fish fry we had, we lost $75. So, but it's good. But the pancake breakfast, we're gonna have it March, like I said, 15th, that's Saturday, right? 8 to 12 at the community center, and then we're gonna try April to have one here for Coffee
That's at
City.
Berryville Community Center.
Yeah, that's for Berryville. We'll try to have Coffee Cities in April here. It'll have to be after the 5th and before the 26th. So.
Question, was there a follow-up date for photos? Had some people ask about photos.
No, but I can check, because what they did last year, is they came down and they called people from Flint, Berryville, or the whole area. And they're doing Bullard now. Now, if I can get you Bullard's dates, your people can go to Bullard's and still do it. So I'll try to call you tomorrow and let you know when. It doesn't matter when you take your picture with them, you've already paid. You can go, I had people from West Side come down because they missed that date. They come down here. And the only reason I had to come out to Miss Lily's house is because Mr. Rutledge's golf cart wouldn't pull it out. It's a 4-wheel drive tractor, okay? I pulled up and I looked at it, I said, I'm gonna need a bigger vehicle. It's like John. Tell me exactly what was stuck. It was like John's, a bigger boat. Is there anything else? Or? Thank y'all very much for everything y'all do. The engine is fixed. We spent another $500. That brings us close to about $2,800 with sunk in it. But today I drove it back. I drove it like I stole it. It was running pretty good, so I hope that
That's the big engine, right?
Yes, that's the big one. All right.
Thank you, Chris, we appreciate
You
you.
gonna mention Tuesday?
Oh, well, March 18th, is it Tuesday or Wednesday?
Tuesday, 18.
Yeah,
Tuesday, I believe.
It's Tuesday 18th. It's in the paper. There's a severe weathers. It's a NOAA class. It's going to be here.
Severe storm awareness.
Yeah, severe storm awareness. You got the flyer with you?
No.
We got it in the paper last week, and the paper's gonna move it up towards the front of the paper, make it a little bit bigger ad. It's open to everybody.
What time is it?
It starts at 7.
7.
And it should be over with around 9 o'clock.
In the evening?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
But it's open to everybody. Everybody. There'll be some firefighters, there may be some police.
That's gonna be in the community?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
But it's open to, I encourage everybody to go, because it's stuff, you'll learn stuff there that'll help you. I don't care if you live here or Ohio or California. When you come out of there, you'll learn stuff that'll help you, may save you or your family's life or property.
What day is it again?
It's the 18th.
18th.
Next
At
Tuesday.
7 o'clock, which will be next Tuesday.
Yes. Or will I be next Tuesday?
Right. But it will run in the Statesman, Citizen, Franklin Citizen again. It's also running in the Statesman and all them up there. We provide the space. It's a class at it's sponsored by Precinct 4 Commissioner. So he'll be here too. So
It's put on by NOAA.
it's a good class. They normally hold it way over yonder somewhere. This is a rare opportunity to get it in this area.
There was a lot of arm twisting to make this happen.
So,
Okay, thank you, Chris.
thank you.
Do you have anything you'd like to say, Mr. Houston?
I have your disannexation that was filed with the clerk of courts and
Okay.
seals on it.
That's on 4202.
Correct.
So that has been completed then, it's all?
Yes.
All done,
it's-
okay.
Yes, it's been accepted back into the county maintenance system. We've already done some work on the road, and that is the official filing document, your copy,
Okay. Appreciate
for
it.
your files.
Do you have anything else?
The interlocal agreement will go through court tomorrow.
Very good. Anybody have any comments or questions before we adjourn?
When's the runoff?
Oh, well, that's an interesting question. You heard about that. The runoff is the day after Memorial Day, May the 27th. Early voting will be the week before, Monday through Friday, at the 3 normal locations. There has been several people have asked me, and therefore it appears that there's some confusion about a runoff election. And some folks think that if they didn't vote in the primary, they cannot vote in a runoff. That is incorrect. What is correct, if you voted on the Democratic side in the primary, you cannot vote Republican in a runoff. But a person who couldn't get out due to the
inclement weather we had on Tuesday, they most definitely can go and vote.
Are there mail-in ballots available for that?
Yes.
Who do we go to get?
Denise Hernandez, the voter registrar.
Anyone else have questions or comments? Well, I'll call this meeting adjourned.
Well, we need to make a motion.
I make a motion that we.
Oh,
adjourn this meeting.
Second, everybody in favor?
Tyrants.
Park was one of the horses. Rookie.